Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to this very special Honors Day program as part of Honors Day weekend, and what a celebration it is. We're so pleased that all of you can be with us today. Wonderful to have this event in person in Christ Chapel. And we also welcome all those who are joining us virtually. As we begin this ceremony today, we also acknowledge that Gustavus Adolphus College is located on the homelands of the Dakota people, whose spiritual traditions include the belief that this land, along with all the creatures and people living on it, are their relatives. We recognize that acknowledging the land is a limited gesture, and our work and commitment goes beyond statements into real change from the classroom to every angle of the community, through difficult and meaningful conversations and ongoing research into the origins of our presence on this site. As an academic institution, this is one of the most important weekends of our year. It's a time when we highlight and recognize the academic accomplishments and the leadership of our students. For most of the year, the incredible teaching and scholarship that happens inside our classrooms does not have a public expression. During the year, our students are also leading and serving in incredible ways that benefit our campus and the broader community. And today we are lifting up this work and honoring our most outstanding students. Faculty, I thank you for your work in educating and inspiring these students, because we know that their accomplishments are closely linked to the guidance that you provide for them. Your passion and commitment are the foundation to teaching at this college. Thank you also to the families of our students for your ongoing support and encouragement that you have provided for your Gustie. I suspect that you're filled with pride today, as we are too, for these students' accomplishments, and I'm so glad you're here in person to applaud them. Students, congratulations on your work and all your achievements. I deeply appreciate what you have contributed to this campus community, and I thank you for your continuing commitment to excellence. And now I'm pleased to welcome Chaplain Maggie Falinchek to share with you an invocation.
Today, as we gather to honor the achievements, talents, and perseverance of our Gustavus students, we give thanks for the opportunities we each have to think with free minds, to explore the depths of our curiosity, to ask our biggest and boldest questions about life and its meaning, and to give of ourselves for the betterment of our communities. Today, as we raise our hands in applause to celebrate all that our students have accomplished, we give thanks for the daily blessings of breath, bodies, and bread, which sustain our lives and make our work and learning possible. Today, as we honor faculty who have dedicated their lives to the crafts of teaching, research, and mentoring, we give thanks for the abundant knowledge present in this community and for the collective advances in wisdom and understanding. May this day be filled with rejoicing, wonder, and gratitude. Amen.
It is my great pleasure to introduce Professor Lauren Hecht, who will provide this morning's address. Dr. Hecht teaches in the Psychological Science Department and is the recipient of the 2022 Edgar M. Carlson Award for Distinguished Teaching. This is Gustavus faculty's highest accolade for teaching excellence. Dr. Hecht is a cognitive psychologist who studies sensation, perception, and attention. In addition to her teaching and research and her mentorship of undergraduate students at Gustavus, she serves as the director of the first term seminar. She has a deep understanding of the best ways to support students through mentoring, advising, and engagement. She strives to equip our students with the skills and knowledge to creatively address problems and questions beyond the classroom. Dr. Hecht majored in psychology and philosophy as an undergraduate student and earned her PhD in psychology from the University of Iowa. She has been here at Gustavus since 2010. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Professor Lauren Hecht.
Wading in the brisk 60-degree water, I watched each pair of novice divers sink below the surface, following the buoy's rope down to a platform where I'd soon see their wide eyes, anxious to start their first dive in open waters. As I descended after the group, I noticed one pair taking longer than usual on the descent. One of them was struggling. This was the start to one of my more memorable dives as a dive master. That is the title associated with the first level of professional scuba certification. Basically, I'm a teaching assistant. I took all of my scuba classes when I was in graduate school at the University of Iowa. Graduate students in my program were trusted to register for their courses with minimal, if any, advising. But as a first-generation college student, I was unfamiliar with typical conventions. No one told me that it was unusual for a graduate student to take a predominantly undergraduate course far outside my area of study in psychology. Choosing to take that first scuba course helped me discover a new passion. It changed me. Scuba diversified my studies and activities in ways that better resembled my undergraduate liberal arts experience. It was the solution I had needed to confront my own struggle with feeling too narrowly focused on graduate work. The diver made it to the platform and looked around for help, ignoring his dive buddy. As I approached, he frantically told me, "Something's wrong," and pointed to his mask. He gave me a thumbs up. He wanted to go to the surface. He was on the brink of panic. I saw the water surrounding his nose and approaching his eyes. Calmly, I told him to clear your mask, a skill we had taught him in a swimming pool and had practiced many times for situations like this. He cleared the water. It started to leak in again. The pattern repeated. Something's wrong. Mask, ascend. No, clear your mask. Feeling underprepared or overwhelmed or being caught off guard can sometimes lead to questionable decisions. Another time, on my first trip out of the Midwest working as a dive master, I needed to reset the anchor for our pontoon. It had come loose and the boat was starting to drift down the canal. But I wasn't confident I could start the motor, which had given us troubles earlier. So I made a quick decision. I hopped into fins, put on a mask, and shared a waning tank of air with a student returning to the boat. My solution was swimming the pontoon upstream to reset its anchor by hand into the sandy bottom. I swam the boat and set its anchor 3 separate times with students sitting on the pontoon watching me. Without help or guidance, it can be hard to face a situation or change an ill-conceived plan. Without support, we might want to bail out. After a few rounds of signing with the diver, the instructor approached us, having checked in with everyone else. They were getting cold, waiting to start our dive. The diver repeated his pattern, letting the instructor know what was wrong. The instructor's reply was the same as mine. No, clear your mask. Then he added, swim. The instructor left. Pairs of divers following him as instructed for what remained of our 20-minute dive. My responsibility was to bring up the rear and keep the group together. The diver looked terrified. His buddy waited. As the last pair of divers left the platform, I reminded him, clear your mask, swim. He shook his head, no. Before I lost their path in the murky 15-foot visibility we had that day, I did the only thing I could. I offered my hand. Knowing and doing are two very different things. It is one thing to know that you should never hold your breath while scuba diving because it can be fatal. Even in 3 feet of water, holding a large breath while surfacing can cause a lung overexpansion injury. But continuously breathing underwater, a very unnatural behavior, is challenging to do, especially when panic sets in. No matter how much training we have, it can be difficult to predict how we will react when faced with a challenge, and help may not be recognizable as such. A dive master holding you at your depth underwater, not letting you take your chosen escape route, might not seem helpful. But in the end, having confronted this situation, even if it's only long enough to take a breath, can change the trajectory of the outcome. The panicked diver took my hand and held it so tightly, I was thankful for the half-inch of neoprene between our hands. And we swam side by side, hand in hand, for the entire 20-minute dive. He used his other hand to keep clearing his mask, just like we practiced. He only let go of my hand as we ascended. The mask came off the second he reached the surface. He had a story to tell and a choice to make, to keep diving or not. We all make choices, to keep diving or not, to offer our hand, to reach out for support. Students, you made choices, perhaps with the proverbial outstretched hand of others. I commend you for choosing to pursue knowledge, to exceed expectations, to push beyond your comfort zones. And just as that one panicked diver with the leaky mask chose to keep diving, I hope you choose to continue learning throughout your lives. But remember that knowing is not the same as doing. Practice skills, implement solutions, reevaluate methods, support others. Now is the time to go farther than the depths of knowledge and dive deep into action.
Good morning. I'm Brenda Kelly, Provost and Dean of the College, and I'm so pleased to have the opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of our students today. Students, on behalf of the faculty, thank you for your commitment to your academic pursuits and your involvement in campus life. Our faculty love to teach you, and we consider it a privilege to be part of your personal and intellectual growth. Thank you for being engaged learners. In addition to faculty support, for many students, the support that they receive from family and friends is critical to their success. Thus, we have started a tradition of gratitude at this convocation. Students, I now invite you to take this moment to extend your own words of thanks to family and friends who are with you today for all of the ways that they support you as a student at Gustavus. If you don't have anyone with you in person, take this moment to send them a quick text message of gratitude. Thanks, everyone. If you pulled out your phone, now I'm being the teacher, please put your phone away. Descriptions of the particular awards, honor societies, or other recognitions are printed in your program, and I invite you to refer to it as we recognize the students. We start by recognizing students who have received academic recognition from national or state organizations. These award descriptions are on pages 5 and 6 in the program. The first group of students we want to honor today are those who have been invited to join Phi Beta Kappa. Invitations toward membership in Phi Beta Kappa is conducted through a selective, merit-based process. Today we are honoring the inductees from the past 2 years. Since this is a large group of students, we will have you stand at your places. Would all the students elected to Phi Beta Kappa in the spring of 2022 and the spring of 2023 please stand to be recognized? Congratulations. The following students were nominated for or were awarded nationally competitive scholarships. On average, only about 5 to 10% of students nationwide earn such recognition. To be competitive for a national award, students spend many hours and months revising drafts, reflecting on experiences and goals, and discussing their plans with mentors. Special thanks goes out to Dr. Pamela Kittleson, Professor of Biology and Fellowships Coordinator, who has guided these national nominees and award-winning students through the application, interview, and selection process for these awards. Dr. Kittleson will present the students' certificates today. We will start with the Fulbright scholarships. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Students, please come forward and remain up front until all of the awardees in your group have been recognized. 9 Gusties were semifinalists for the Fulbright English Teaching Assistantship or Study Award, and 5 earned the award. Mad Chase is a History and Scandinavian Studies major who earned an award to Sweden in Cultural Heritage and Sustainability. Mad's research at Gustavus has focused on the narratives surrounding the settlement of our Swedish-American college on Dakota land. Mad proposed to use her Fulbright Award to understand how the Swedes and their cultural institutions talk about and interpret the indigenous Sami history. Emily Monacan, not present here today, will graduate this spring with an English major. Emily was a semifinalist for the Vietnam English Teaching Assistantship. On campus, Emily has been an active member in music ensembles as a violinist. Physics major Jack Stonecipher was a semifinalist for a study award in Finland. Jack will pursue a PhD at the University of Wisconsin's Electrical Engineering program, working on soft robotics. Sydney Stummy Berg and Courtney Leonard, both of whom are not present today, were semifinalists to the Greece ETA. Courtney will graduate with a communication studies major. She will work to apply her public health minor in educational or institutional settings. Sydney graduated last year with a secondary education major, and she is an international student counselor at Mills College. Kelsey Wallach, a history and political science double major, will be teaching English in Bulgaria. Kelsey also will participate in the BEST, B-E-S-T program. BEST is a foundation that teaches public speaking skills and does speech and debate tournaments and programming, both in Bulgaria and within the Balkans more widely. On campus, Kelsey has worked in the history department and will graduate with minors in African diaspora studies, as well as Russian and Eastern European studies. The following recent graduates earned a Fulbright Award but are not in attendance this morning. Leslie Darling graduated in 2015 with a Scandinavian Studies major. She is a practicing textile artist who earned a Fulbright Study Award to learn, document, and promote rural folk art. Maria Flores Marquez, a 2022 graduate in political science, law, lax, and Spanish, was selected to teach English in Spain, where she intends to volunteer for organizations that tutor adults or immigrants in Spanish and English. Samantha Ragu graduated in 2021 with a sociology and anthropology major and will teach English in Thailand. Samantha also is a U.S. State Department Gilman Ambassador who promotes study-away opportunities for low-income students. I invite all of you to recognize these outstanding students and young alums with your applause. Next, we recognize the honorees for the Barry Goldwater Scholarship, Critical Language Award, Boren Scholarship, and Rossing Physics Scholarships. We have 2 Gustavus awardees and 1 nominee for the prestigious Barry M. Goldwater Scholarship. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Students, please come forward and remain up front until all awardees are recognized. Chemistry major Trevor Kempen has worked in Dr. Dwight Stoll's analytical chemistry lab since his first year. Trevor helped develop Wikichrome, a novel approach for rapid data collection in liquid chromatography. Trevor has been a lead author or co-author in multiple publications and presented research at international conferences in San Diego and Belgium. Trevor plans to earn a PhD and conduct research focused on increasing efficiency and automation, thus reducing the time and resources needed in analytical processes. Biochemistry and molecular biology major Katie Lilleman intends to earn a PhD in genetics and molecular biology. Katie hopes to conduct research on how to engineer plants to better withstand climate change. She started research in her first year in Dr. Katie Lehigh's lab and then did research at the Mayo Clinic School for Biomedical Sciences. The latter experience reinforced that Katie did not wish to pursue medicine, but did want to continue in a career that centered upon research. Chemistry and environmental studies major, Marielle Castillo, who is not present today, was nominated for a Goldwater as well. Marielle conducted research in Dr. Jeff Jeremiason's lab, focusing on methyl mercury cycling in northern peat systems. Marielle intends to pursue a career in environmental engineering to work on issues related to water. Let's congratulate our Goldwater honorees. We have 3 honorees in our next several categories. Caroline Southworth earned a Boren Scholarship to study Russian in Kyrgyzstan. She was an alternate in Russian for the Critical Language Scholarship. Caroline designed her own major, combining political science, psychology, and economics, and is also a Russian and Eastern European Studies major. On campus, Caroline is a collegiate fellow and will be co-president of Model UN, an Eastern European club, next year. She has worked in DC for the Free Russia Foundation and as an intern for the US mission to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Caroline aspires to a career in service to the US at the federal level, likely in the Foreign Service. Next, the recipients of the Rossing Physics Scholarship. Erin Coleman conducted research with Dr. Darsa Donlan last summer. Together, they set up a radio telescope and used it to measure radio signals created by the interaction between Jupiter and its moon, Io. In graduate school, Erin intends to pair her math and physics double major to develop models for physical systems. Emma Erickson's focus is on electronics. At Gustavus, Emma participates in orchestra and is a leader in the Society of Physics Students and Women in Physics. Emma aspires to work at a corporation like IBM, creating and testing circuit components for use in improved computer components, perhaps even in the area of quantum computers. I invite all of you to recognize these outstanding students. Next, I invite forward the student honorees for the Public Policy and International Affairs Summer Institute, the Donald Patterson Award, and the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship Program. Political science major Andrea Cruz Bracamontes will use this scholarship to attend the Junior Summer Institute at the University of Michigan. Andrea's public policy interests focus on international relations and immigration reform. She has conducted an interdisciplinary research project in Ecuador where she joined scientists and artists studying the interactions between glacial processes and the indigenous El Hato people. She is a leader in the Diversity Leadership Council and the Organization of Latinx Students. The recipient of the Donald G. Patterson Award is Tate Anderson. Tate is an accomplished student both inside and outside of the classroom. Tate is currently conducting independent research that examines the impact of social media use on attentional processing and collaborated with a fellow senior psychological science major to explore ways to enhance student comprehension and retention. Tate intends to pursue graduate work in cognitive psychology. Finally, we now recognize the awardee and honorable mention for the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. Geology major Morgan Mellum earned a National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship to fund paleoclimate research at the University of Texas, Austin. Morgan has conducted and published research from the work that she completed with Dr. Eric Gulbranson. In this work, she used fossilized trees from Antarctica to study the end Permian mass extinction, which wiped out between 70 and 95% of the world's species about 250 million years ago. Biochemistry and Molecular Biology 2020 graduate, Kira Holton, not present here today, also earned an NSF Graduate Research Fellowship honorable mention for the research that she is currently conducting at the University of Michigan. Congratulations to these awardees. Now I invite Dr. Jonas Van Hecke, who serves as the college's Dean of Students and Vice President of Student Life, to introduce the next group of honorees.
Honored to present the next set of college awards, I first invite forward the recipient of the Minnesota Campus Compact Award, Ashley Sousa. Ashley has been a language buddy coordinator for 3 years. She has worked to meet the needs of Gustavus students and students in the St. Peter school systems, making the program more successful and meaningful. This is including expanding the program to include more families and building partnerships with the St. Peter Food Shelf and Cambria. Ashley, thank you and congratulations. Next, we will recognize 3 larger groups of students, and due to the size of those groups, we will not be reading individual names. The students will instead stand where they are seated. The first group are the new members of the Alpha 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 Honor Society. This is the second year that Gustavus has had a campus chapter of this National Honor Society, and we are so very proud of these capable, talented inaugural class of inductees. First-generation college students have extra challenges as they learn to navigate their collegiate experience. We commend these students who have achieved the academic success. Will the new members of Alpha 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 Honor Society please stand to be recognized? The next group of students to be recognized are the newest members of the Guild of St. Ansgar. This group of seniors are selected for being both strong students academically and for their involvement and leadership in the campus community. Thank you for all of the ways that you contribute to making the Gustavus community stronger. Please join me in congratulating the new inductees of the Guild of St. Ansgar. Please rise. Now we recognize the Guild of St. Lucia. This highly selective group is chosen from a campus-wide nomination process to honor a diverse group of junior women for their leadership and service on campus, as well as their academic success. Congratulations on your selection, and we look forward to continued leadership for you in the year ahead. Guild members, please rise. Next, we will recognize college-sponsored awards, and we will begin with the Magnuson Award. The Magnuson Awards, named for Judge Paul Magnuson, are our campus premier leadership awards. Recipients, please come forward when your name is read, and audience, hold your applause until all students are recognized. The first group are the individual winners. Sarah Elliott. Sarah Elliott is an exercise physiology major. She serves as coordinator of the Gusty Buddies, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, the Student Athlete Advisory Council, and varsity volleyball captain. Sarah works at the Gustavus Health Service and teaches campus groups in exercise classes. Through her internship in the Lund Center, she's actually created new programs to make the fitness facility more inclusive. Zach Bohr. Zachary is an individualized major in public health with a minor in communication studies. Zach is the co-president of the Pan-African Student Organization, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion co-chair of the Peer Assistance, and is the public relations chair of the Diversity Leadership Council. Zach has served as an admission tour guide and a fellow in the Public Deliberation and Dialogue program. This year, he was named Judge's Choice for Mr. Gustavus. Ana Martinez Magana is an international management major. Ana has served as co-president for the Organization for Latinx American Students and the International Cultures Club, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion co-chair of the Gustavus Women in Leadership organization. She has helped to plan the Women of Color Summit and is currently serving on the Board of Trustees Committee dedicated to improving the experience of underrepresented students. Eliza Scherschlicht is an individualized public health policy major. Eliza has served as co-coordinator and marketing manager of the Peer Assistance, president of the Order of Omega, and co-president of her sorority, Delta Phi Omega. Some events and programming she has coordinated include Death and Disparity Healthcare in the U.S., the 100-Hour Challenge, De-Stress Fest, the Greek Life Annual Awards Ceremony, the Sophomore Stride Program, and Sleep Health Specialist Program. Ashley Sousa. In addition to what you already learned about Ashley a little earlier in our program, she is a Communication Studies and Lilacs double major with a Spanish minor. Ashley has served as the president of Alpha 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 Honor Society, social coordinator of Sigma Delta Pi, and a mentor for GAIN. And finally, Genesis Tompkins. Genesis is a psychological science major with minors in political science and economics. Genesis is a peer assistant, serving as its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion co-chair, a big partner in the Big Partner Little Partner program, co-president of the Pan-African Student Organization, and a study buddy at the North Elementary School, helping to provide reading proficiency and comprehension in the 2nd grade. Thank you all for your outstanding contributions to this campus. I'll now invite forward the representatives for the group and events Magnuson Award winners. The first is the Gustavus Model United Nations. Model UN team strives to learn more about the United Nations by participating in conferences as a representative from a particular country. This past year, 15 Gusties attended the Model UN conference in Chicago, and the group won multiple awards for its position papers, which resulted in the team qualifying to attend an international conference in New York City for the first time in the history of the organization. Representing the Model UN today are Katie Allard and Sam Harlan. Theta Xi Gamma Pinky Swear fundraiser. Since 2007, the Theta Psi Gamma sorority has hosted an annual brunch and silent auction for the Pinky Swear Foundation, with over 150 alumni, parents, and friends attending. Because of their efforts, raising over $81,000, the Thetas were recognized at the Pinky Swear Foundation's annual celebration as one of its top fundraisers in the country. Representing the Thetas are Ashley Barkley and Jenna Wyam. And finally, we recognize Kate Dario and the Compassion Initiative. The Dario Compassion Initiative strives to create a place of belonging, rebuild community, and foster social and emotional wellness for everyone. Starting in November, the initiative provided multiple workshops for various groups on campus and sponsored a week-long bingo for students to interact and spread compassion to those around them. The initiative's motto, "One small act of kindness can make the world a brighter place," has been so true for Gustavus this year. Please join me in congratulating Kate and the initiative. We now recognize recipient of the Schwam-Brostrom Award. Please come forward and audience hold your applause until both students are recognized. Sophie Nelson. Sophie Nelson is the recipient of the Schwam-Brostrom Leadership and Service Award. Sophie is involved in many aspects of campus, including the Gustavus Choir, Building Bridges Conference, and Habitat for Humanity. As one of the site coordinators for Habitat, Sophie organized and led the fall break trip to Fort Thompson on the Crow Creek Reservation in South Dakota and the spring break trip to Elizabethtown, Kentucky. The Schwam-Brostrom Award in Faith goes to Abigail Doran. Abby distinguished herself as an exemplary faith leader from her very first year on campus. She was a founding leader in the Sunday worship community, teaching herself percussion so that the songs could have a beat. A beloved mentor for the Gustavus Academy of Faith, Science, and Ethics, she built a community of belonging with her kind spirit and compassionate heart. Congratulations, Sophie and Abby. Next, we recognize the 3 recipients of the Bruce Gray Diversity Honors Award. Christina, Zach, and Genesis, please make your way forward. Christina Serbu is a philosophy and Russian Eastern European Studies double major with minors in dance, studio art, and film and media studies. Christina is the president of the International Cultures Club, vice president of the Eastern European Club, and a GAIN mentor. Zach Bohr and Genesis Tompkins were recognized earlier as Magnuson Award winners, and the Bruce Gray is added to their many list of awards on campus. All 3 of these students provide a positive and significant presence in our campus and our Center for Inclusive Excellence. They are connectors and influencers, making a better Gustavus experience for all. Please join me in congratulating them.
Two endowments have been established to support the next 2 awards for the highest GPAs earned by junior and senior students. These endowments provide a prize for the honored students. This year, we are giving each student a gift card to the bookmark. The Gerhard Alexis Award winners may now come forward as I call your name. The winners of the Gerhard T. Alexis Scholars Award for juniors who have earned a cumulative GPA of 4.0 are Ellen Collender, Alexandra Combs, Emma Erickson, Benjamin Forsberg, George Giano, Kimberly Harland, Trevor Kempen, Sydney Koppelman, Joran Keen, Austin Leggett, Katie Lilleman, Sophie Norman, Adeline Oberg, Christina Schmidt, Caroline Southworth, Maria Sylvester, Tyler Teichmiller, and Camille Will. We'll let all the students get up here before we give them a round of applause. Let's recognize the accomplishments of these junior students. We look forward to seeing you up here next year. Now no pressure, no pressure. Now we call forward the winners of the Albert G. Swanson Scholars Award for seniors who have earned a cumulative GPA of 4.0. These students are Jared Dawson, Abigail Doran, Elizabeth Hartman, Madeline Hessian, Eric Johnson, Elise Kalsness, Kristen Martins, Morgan Mellum, Sophia Nelson, Samuel Peter, Emma Rosso, Keely Shook, Jessica Schwartz, Carly Swanson-Garrow, Renee Troutman, Michaela Woodward, Zoe Zarth, Gina Zabrowski. And we'll give everybody just a minute to get up to the front. Congratulations to these outstanding students. Next, we recognize students who have served this year as departmental academic assistants. Many faculty and administrative assistants say that the departmental academic assistants are critical to the success of the department. The nature and scope of work varies for our academic assistants, from helping faculty with specific courses, work on departmental projects, serving as a resource to other students, providing student input on departmental decisions, conducting research, or coordinating the department touring program. These students are selected by departmental faculty for their proven academic ability, leadership, and commitment to the department. The students are listed on page 9 of your program. Departmental academic assistants, thank you for your dedication and hard work. Please stand so that we may applaud and offer you our appreciation. Next, we recognize a large number of students who had earned a cumulative GPA of 3.7 or better by the end of January term 2023. These students have been named to the President's Honor List. Their names are printed on pages 10 through 13 in your program. Maintenance of a 3.7 GPA is a significant accomplishment at Gustavus. Our students are encouraged to dive into all aspects of the college. Most Gustavus students participate in a multitude of co-curricular activities, along with their curricular activities. Sometimes the activities happen to be at odds with one another, especially in how a student has to balance and distribute their time. Among these students on the President's Honor List, we have athletes and musicians, members and leaders in student organizations, students who volunteer in the community, and students who are employed on and off campus. Plus, as a residential college, a student's life needs to include some time for fun and relationships. Our Honor List students have found a way to manage all aspects of college life while maintaining a high level of academic achievement. This is a major accomplishment. First, I'm going to call up the first-year students. If you are a first-year student on the President Honors List, please stand. Now let's have our sophomores and juniors on the President Honors List stand. And finally, let's commend our seniors who have maintained a high level of academic success for their entire college career. Seniors, please stand. Many of our academic departments and programs also have honor societies, scholarships, or awards. Faculty choose these student recipients based on merit. Thus, these awards represent the highest honors granted by each department. The recipients, together with brief descriptions of the particular award, scholarship, honor society membership, or competition are in the program. Please take a moment to review this incredible list of awards on pages 14 to 22 in your program. Students, even though we do not have time to name you individually during this program, in being chosen for a department or program award, Gustavus faculty extend their highest praise for you and your academic work. You are among a short list of the most outstanding students from your major or minor. On behalf of your departmental faculty, thank you for your hard work, creativity, and commitment to your academic success. Please know that you inspire our faculty, and we are so grateful for your efforts. Departmental honorees, please stand. Turning now toward faculty awards, I invite forward Professor Jill Locke, who will present the 2023 Gustavus Faculty Scholarly Accomplishment Award.
Good morning. It's always exciting to celebrate so many people doing such great work, and it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce the 2023 winner of the Faculty Scholarship Award. This year's winner, in one of the nomination letters, was described as always reading, always thinking, caring deeply about ideas and the importance of having a nuanced account of our physical and social world and how power functions within it. Every single day, our colleague students benefit from the way that our colleague conducts their research. They bring it into the classroom. It shapes the content of their syllabi and also their pedagogy and how they engage with students. Their scholarship spans continents and languages. It is historically and geographically rooted, but also addresses more universal themes. It is empirically rich, theoretically nuanced. Unsurprisingly, this colleague is a leader in their field. Their work is intimately connected with the sites that they theorize, first the French banlieues, and second and more intensively, Puerto Rico. And he offers useful theoretical frameworks for considering the dynamics of both moralism and state violence in the context of colonialism and its aftermaths. One of the key areas that our colleague has theorized is that of corruption, something that we talk about in such ordinary ways without really exploring the work that corruption does rhetorically and politically to discipline the people who are deemed as corrupt, who are deemed as not civilized enough to be able to govern themselves. Moving beyond the discourse of corruption and anti-corruption, our colleague recently won an award for an article he wrote about how corruption narratives reproduce the power of colonial elites in Puerto Rico, and that won the 2023 Blanca Silvestrini Prize for the best article in Puerto Rican studies. In addition to that article, our colleague has also published over 12 articles and essays within Puerto Rican studies, over 15 book reviews, an NEH grant, a postdoc, of course, RSC grants and Ryers funds here at Gustavus, and even won an award as an undergraduate for the most outstanding undergraduate in his program, The Power Runs Deep. Our colleague is also the editor of the lead journal in his field, and I think this is a testimony to how the work that he is doing means that he is not only navigating the cross currents of scholarly and teaching life with his own experiences in the world, but also shepherding other, often junior scholars through this as well. No wonder he is a clear star in his field and has been tapped for so many leadership positions. Building on this existing work, this year's winner is currently writing a book titled Making Space for Empire, Colonial Elites in the Planning of Modern Puerto Rico, 1940 to 1960. And that is a book which all of his colleagues are eagerly awaiting. The book synthesizes archival work with Black geographies, ethnic studies, critical urban studies, and Caribbean philosophy. It will be widely read and cited. It will make an enormous methodological contribution that models how to do engaged social science research, as well as adding to the research of colonial planning. Kicking around taglines many years ago with a couple of colleagues here at Gustavus, one of the phrases that came up in our discussion, half serious, half a little cheeky, was "big world on the prairie." The winner exemplifies this concept of a big world on the prairie. Deeply committed to his work here at Gustavus and the students he teaches, deeply aware of the responsibilities of being on Dakota land and our place as heirs to settlers whose violence was justified in the name of ungovernability, in the name of being uncivilized and uncultivated, these attacks on the people living here. The bogus treaties, the violence, the propaganda. This colleague is also deeply aware and has studied the history and operations of policing, and is deeply aware of how policing operates here in Minnesota as we live in the shadow of the murder of George Floyd and unfulfilled promises of the kind of transformation those protests were supposed to bring about. He knows what it means to be an embedded teacher, an embedded scholar, and an embedded citizen. He's connected to a big world beyond Gustavus, and actively each and every day, he also brings that world here, to our classroom, to us, to all who hail from that big world with our own students, staff, faculty alike, our complex lives and geographies, the stories of settlement and colonialism, promises kept and broken that shape every life here. The future of this institution, I hope, lies in the kinds of nuanced and sensitive vision of this year's winner. I am, of course, talking about Joaquin Villanueva.
Congratulations, Joaquin. Next, we invite Student Senate Co-President Delaney Bloom to present the 2023 Swenson and Bunn Memorial Award for Teaching Excellence.
The Swenson-Bunn Memorial Award for Teaching Excellence is an award created by the Gustavus Student Senate in honor of Greg Swenson and Holly Bunn, Gustavus students who were tragically killed in a car accident during the spring of 1989. It is the only teaching award that is solely nominated, selected, and awarded by students. This is the 32nd year that we present this award. It is my pleasure to recognize Professor Kate Aguilar as the recipient of the 2022-23 Swenson-Bunn Memorial Award for Teaching Excellence. Her work deconstructs the common black-white racial binary of traditional studies of Cold War conservatism and argues that scholars of the right and post-1968 political realignments must engage with the Global South to appreciate how new right policies and leadership were crafted in response to images of a multiracial, multicultural, multilingual, and multinational urban scene. Kate is also a trained diversity and inclusion practitioner and social activist. She is well known outside of the classroom, offers diverse ways of learning for her students, and has won the hearts of people campus-wide. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Kate Aguilar.
Now, as we depart onto multiple more celebrations, receive this benediction. And afterwards, please stay seated as President Bergman will come and offer us additional closing words. May we never give up on our quest to discover what is true, honorable, and just. May we nurture kindness and compassion for self, others, and even enemies. And may we build each other up, so that together we might employ the full force of our passion and power for the common good of all humanity and for the flourishing of this earth, our shared home. Amen.
Well, thank you all for being part of the 2023 Honors Convocation. An archive of this service will remain on the Honors Weekend webpage, so you are, of course, welcome to share the link to those in your families and those among your friends who were unable to attend today. Following the ceremony, which will include a recessional of the faculty, you are all invited to a reception on Ekman Mall. If it starts raining in the next 5 minutes, and you don't see food on Ekman Mall straight outside, then make your way to the campus center, and in the hallway outside the cafeteria, we will continue with the reception. The schedule for the rest of the weekend is full and is on the back of your program. I hope that many of you are planning to stay and participate in other events today and tomorrow. Students, on behalf of the faculty and the staff, and all of your friends and family, we applaud you once more for your incredible efforts this year. Thank you all, students. We are so proud of each and every one of you and wish you the best in everything you do from here forward. May you continue your hard work and your ongoing commitment to achieving excellence. Go Gusties. Here we go.